Imagine finding the diary of a great Roman emperor, intimate and scattered, filled with recurring thoughts reflecting Stoic ideals. That's what we find in Meditations, a series of personal notes not intended for our eyes, but written by Marcus Aurelius to reflect, readjust, and reinforce his commitment to Stoic virtues. Although it doesn't follow a rigid structure, it is essentially a meditative mantra, frequently revisiting themes for deeper introspection. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. Hidden within these texts are nuggets of wisdom, like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. The beauty of Meditations lies in its dual focus. It is a book of meditation that calms and simultaneously offers a historical glimpse into Stoicism. Let's begin. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Book 1. Gratitude and Reflections. Navigating life's gifts. From my grandfather Verus, I acquired solid values and learned to control my temper. The legacy of my father taught me humility and a solid character. My mother showed me the importance of kindness, spirituality, and keeping my thoughts clean. She also taught me to live simply, without pursuing ostentatious lifestyles. My grandfather emphasized the value of home education and investing in good teachers. My mentor advised me not to take sides in public games or get involved in gossip. He taught me the value of hard work, needing little, and minding my own business. Diogenes taught me not to worry about minor things or believe in fantastic stories about magicians. He introduced me to philosophy and encouraged me to write my thoughts when young. He also made me appreciate the simple things in life. With Rusticus, I realized I had a lot to work on personally. He taught me to stay true, avoid ostentatious behavior, and be genuine in my writings and actions. He introduced me to the teachings of Epictetus. Apollonius showed me how to stay firm in my goals and always focus on logical thinking. He was a living proof of remaining steadfast through adversity, emphasizing that knowing and teaching were secondary to being a good person. Sextus was all about kindness and leading by example. He taught me to live naturally, care for friends, and be patient with those who don't think things through. His presence was comforting, and he had a knack for organizing life's great lessons without boasting of his wisdom. From Alexander, the grammarian, I learned not to correct someone rudely if they used strange or incorrect language. Instead, he gently used the correct word or phrase in conversation, focusing on the topic, not the error. Fronto showed me what envy, deceit, and false attitudes looked like in powerful people. He also taught that those we see as high society often lack simplicity and genuine love. Alexander, the philosopher, taught me not to constantly say, "I'm busy," as an excuse. We shouldn't justify neglecting those close to us by always claiming to be overloaded with work. From Catullus, I learned the value of not ignoring a friend's criticism, always being grateful to good teachers, and truly adoring my children. My brother Severus taught me the power of family love, truth, and fairness. Through him, I met iconic thinkers and leaders. He also made me envision a society where everyone is equal, and true freedom always remains loyal to its beliefs. He was generous and never hid his true feelings, making his position on matters clear. From Maximus, I acquired self-control and the ability to stay focused. He always radiated a positive vibe, even when sick. He perfectly blended kindness and authority, making people always believe he was sincere. He never seemed surprised, hurried, or disturbed, didn't hide his frustration behind false laughs, nor let anger cloud his judgment. His kind acts were natural and made people feel valued. Everyone around him felt he was firm in his principles and truly appreciated him for his humor and authenticity. I learned a lot from my father. He was patient, but when he made a decision, he stuck to it. He didn't boast or seek praise, valued hard work, listened to anyone with a good idea for the community, and always played fair. He knew when to intervene and when to stay on the sidelines. He wasn't influenced by trends, focused like everyone else, and didn't require much attention from his friends. He was meticulous in his decisions, didn't judge by first impressions, and was loyal to his friends without being overly attached. He always looked on the bright side and was quite good at anticipating things long before they happened. He kept the empire's needs under control intelligently, didn't worry about small things, and didn't let criticism affect him. He was modest, wasn't influenced by flashy trends, and used what he had without showing off or desiring more. No one could label him as a know-it-all or a snob. He was respected as wise and could efficiently manage his own affairs and those of others. He appreciated true intelligence and wasn't fooled by appearances. Conversations with him were easy, and he never tried to impress too much. He took care of his health not out of vanity, but to rarely need a doctor. He celebrated others' talents without feeling envy and promoted them to excel in their field. He respected traditions without making a big show of it. He wasn't about constantly changing things and found comfort in familiarity. He recovered quickly from his rare days of illness and got back to work promptly. He had no secrets, was practical with expenses, and prioritized actions over public opinion. He wasn't picky about minor details like food or fashion. His style was simple and generally local. He had a simple moment with a toll collector, showing his humble side. There was no drama with him. He was constant and methodical, had the rare ability to resist temptations, but also allowed himself to enjoy without exaggeration. Basically, he had a mind as solid as a rock, even when facing difficult challenges, like during Maximus's illness. I am super grateful for a family that has been solid: grandparents, parents, siblings, teachers, and friends. And man, I'm lucky that, even with my impulses, I never really messed up with any of them. I think the universe supported me. A big thank you for not getting too involved with my grandfather's girlfriend and not getting into trouble before I was ready. And my father, a true MVP, for showing me that you can be powerful without all the fancy trappings. No need for bodyguards, flashy clothes, or exaggerated luxury. He taught me that you can be like a king and still be authentic. And my brother, a legend. His vibe always kept me centered and showed crazy love and respect. I am blessed. My children are great and healthy. I'm glad I didn't delve too deeply into artistic things like poetry, which could have been a major distraction. I'm excited to have shown gratitude to those who raised me correctly, immediately, instead of postponing it. And to have met people like Apollonius, Rusticus, and Maximus, true game changers. They instilled in me the idea of living authentically and honestly. If I'm not living 100% authentically, it's my responsibility, not the universe's. I'm quite surprised my body has held up well despite my crazy lifestyle. I dodged some in love, recovered from some wild passions, and although Rusticus and I had our clashes, I never did something stupid out of spite. My mother passed away young, but those last years with her were precious. Whenever I wanted to help someone or make a difference, I had the means to do it. And my wife is a gem, loyal, loving, and straightforward. I'm super grateful for the excellent teachers of my children and for those strange but useful dreams that gave me health advice. Yes, strange but true. And thank God, when I delved into philosophy, it wasn't with a false guru or wasted time in pointless debates or astrology-related things that would have required serious divine intervention. Guiding principles. Lack of genuine support. Imagine a tree in a vast forest, ideally backed by surrounding trees and vegetation, receiving nutrients, shelter, and the company of a thriving ecosystem. Now imagine a tree alone in a barren landscape with no other flora offering support or protection. This is similar to being in a relationship with someone who lacks genuine interest in your well-being. You find yourself alone, unsupported, your branches seeking camaraderie that never comes. In such relationships, your goals, projects, and challenges are met with apathy or token gestures of support. This person may not oppose your plans, offering a half-hearted good luck or even verbally expressing support, but their actions, or lack thereof, speak louder. When it comes to tangible assistance, meaningful advice, or even a listening ear during tough times, their presence is notably absent. Their help, if offered, tends to be superficial, more a matter of form than substance, and often fades when most needed. The reason behind this lack of genuine support lies in their focus on self-interest. Your successes or failures, challenges or interests only concern them to the extent that they affect them or their goals. They view relationships through a transactional lens, where emotional investment is calculated based on potential personal returns. This attitude creates an imbalance where one party continually gives, be it effort, care, or resources, while the other receives, often leaving the giver feeling undervalued and neglected. Recognizing this lack of genuine support is crucial to understanding the relationship's dynamics. Constant competition. Imagine a chess match where each move is calculated not only to advance one's position, but also to systematically undermine the opponent. Similarly, a person who only seeks to use you will often treat your relationship as a strategic game. Every one of your achievements, decisions, or even challenges becomes an opportunity for them to assert their superiority. Whether by overshadowing your professional successes, outdoing your personal achievements, or subtly undermining your decisions, their actions are motivated by the need to stay ahead in this self-imposed competition. This constant competition manifests in various ways. In a professional setting, they might try to eclipse you in meetings or take credit for your ideas. In personal relationships, they might downplay your experiences or achievements, often comparing them to theirs to seem more relevant. Even in casual conversations, there is a palpable subtext of distraction from all the external noise. Take a moment to learn something new, something meaningful, but also don't go to the other extreme. Don't become that person always busy but aimless. Honestly, not knowing someone else's thoughts rarely makes someone unhappy, but not understanding your own thoughts and feelings is a recipe for misery. Remember that. Understand the big picture and your role in it. Understand the universe, and always remember that no one is stopping you from living true to yourself. Theophrastus once explained it this way: errors committed by desires are worse than those committed by anger. Think about it. Getting angry can happen in the heat of the moment, like an instinctive reflex, whereas pursuing desires is a conscious choice. It's like saying someone acting for pleasure is less controlled than someone reacting to pain. It's a matter of perspective, but the idea is that there is more guilt when you know you are doing something wrong and still do it. Imagine if this were your last day on Earth. Would you act differently? If you believe in a higher power, then leaving this world is not scary because it supports you. If there are no gods or they are not watching, what's the problem with a godless universe? Personally, I believe they are out there and have given us the tools to avoid the major problems in life. Everything else, like death, pain, or even honor, affects everyone equally. Regardless of being good or bad, these things don't change who we are, so they are neither good nor bad by themselves. Isn't it amazing how things disappear quickly? Whether physical things or just memories, everything seems to have an expiration date. When we really observe the things we desire, fear, or want to be remembered for, everything seems a bit trivial when viewed from a distance. I mean, everything is a matter of perspective, right? Think about who decides what's cool or important. They are temporary too, and death, if you analyze and remove the drama, is simply a natural process. It's part of the life cycle. Being afraid of it is like being afraid of growing up. It's just a phase of existence. Something sad but also comical is people always snooping, trying to figure out what everyone else thinks or what's hidden beneath the surface. Why go through all that when you have this inner voice, your own guide, right inside you? Respecting that voice means keeping it away from drama and negative vibes. It means appreciating the beauty and what life or fate brings us, showing love for our fellow humans with all their flaws. Some people may be lost, not knowing what's right or wrong, but that's just another reason to understand. After all, no one is perfect. Imagine you had 3,000 years to live, or even 10 times that. Remember that the life you are living now is the only one you really have, whether a century or an eternity. The experience feels the same. You can't lose your past or your future since you never had them. The patterns of life repeat endlessly, and whether you live long or short, you only have the present. Understanding this means grasping the truth within it. Your mind can harm you in many ways. Feeling bitterness about the universe's events separates you from the big picture. If you harbor anger or pretend to hurt, you are not doing any favor to your soul. Letting pleasure or pain control you is not a great move. Acting insincerely is harmful. Doing things without a clear goal, even the small ones, is not the best. We should always be purposeful, since our goal as thinking beings is to live rationally. Life is fleeting. Your time on earth is just a grain of sand. The physical world is always changing. Our perception is often unclear. Our bodies don't last forever. Our souls are like storms, always changing. Predicting life is almost impossible, and fame is highly unpredictable. In short, everything physical flows and changes. The soul's experiences are fleeting. Life is a challenge, a brief stop, and what comes after is quickly forgotten. What can guide us? Only one thing: philosophy. It's about being true, without harm, understanding both pain and pleasure, and living sincerely without depending on others. Accept whatever life brings, knowing it's part of the big picture, and when the end comes, welcome it. It's just the universe rearranging its cards, and if the universe does it, it's natural, and there's nothing wrong with it. Book 3. Appreciating Life and Nature's Subtleties. We often forget that our time is passing, and that what remains shortens each day. But there's another thing we don't always think about. As we age, who knows if our minds will remain lucid? It's not just about living longer, but staying mentally fit. As we age, basic desires and functions may remain, but our ability to think deeply, understand the world around us, and self-reflect could fade. The clarity to recognize when it's our time to exit the stage may diminish. So we shouldn't just worry about the time running out, but also about our minds losing their sharpness. It's time to seize the day, right? It's quite interesting to note that even unexpected outcomes in nature have their own beauty. Take bread, for example. Have you noticed those cracks in freshly baked bread? They weren't planned, but have a unique charm and make you want to take a bite. Ripe figs open up when they're ready to eat. Even overly ripe olives, about to burst, have a special appeal. The fallen stalks of ripe grains, the intense gaze of a lion, or even the foam at the mouth of a wild boar, all have a unique type of beauty. By themselves, they may not seem impressive, but as part of nature's design, they are captivating. A person who truly understands nature will see beauty in almost everything. They will see art in the fierce open mouth of a beast, just as in a painting. They will find elegance in both the elderly and the vitality of youth, seeing everything through a pure and impartial lens. It's about perspective and truly connecting with the world around us. Hippocrates, who cured many, eventually fell ill and died. Those who predicted many deaths also met their end. Great names like Alexander, Pompey, and Caesar, who conquered cities and defeated armies, also passed away. Heraclitus, known for his theories about the universe, died ironically. Lice did him in. Democritus and Socrates. What's the point? Life has its cycle. You are born, live, and then go away. If there's another life after this, call it whatever you want. If not, at least you won't be bothered by life's ups and downs anymore. Don't spend the rest of your days obsessed with others, especially if it's not productive. Every time you get involved in someone else's affairs, you lose your own focus. Why worry about what someone is saying, thinking, or doing? Focus on what you can control. Your thoughts should be so pure that if someone asked what you think, you wouldn't hesitate to share. You would be proud of your thoughts. Be that person who stands out for being kind, centered, and free from insignificant worries. Such a person is a beacon of integrity, fully in tune with themselves, immune to life's trivialities, genuinely accepting life as it is, without meddling in what others do. Remember that you are related in some way to every human being, so be kind by default. Appreciate those who live a good life by nature's standards. As for the rest, understand that they may be struggling with their own demons, so their praise or criticism shouldn't concern you. When you work, do it with purpose and keep the big picture in mind. Don't get lost in trivial things, nor be that person who only talks and doesn't act. Let the best in you, your inner strength, guide you. Stand firm, not because others support you, but because you support yourself. Face life's highs and lows with a smile, and don't always depend on others to find peace of mind. If you find something in life more valuable than being honest, disciplined, and resilient, go after it. But if the best you have is that inner voice that guides you correctly, that voice that helps you master your desires and critically evaluate situations, prioritize it. Avoid things that force you to compromise your values, that make you lose self-respect, resent others, or pretend. If you are truly guided by wisdom and integrity, you won't need drama, nor will you crave attention, nor fear being alone. Moreover, the thought of death won't worry you. Whether you are here for a long time or a short time, you will live with purpose, ensuring that each moment aligns with those of a reflective and community-conscious person. Someone who truly has it all together won't find hidden disorder or drama. Their life feels complete, even if they depart early. Like an actor who leaves before the climax of the play, you won't be false, nor overly attached, nor too distant from things. You will be straightforward and genuine, without dark secrets. Value the way you form opinions. This determines if you are thinking in line with what is natural and logical. Doing this ensures that you are not quick to judge, keeps you calm with people, and in harmony with the universe. Simplify things and focus on the essentials. Remember that we are all living in the present moment. The past is gone, and the future is unpredictable. Our time here is brief, and the world is not so big. Speaking of being remembered, those who passed are forgotten by people who will soon also leave and who barely know themselves, let alone someone from centuries ago. Here's a trick. Whenever something bothers you, analyze it. What is at its core? Label it, understand it completely, and see its place in the big picture. Look at the big picture. How is the world, and how does everything fit together? As for us humans, What are we like as citizens of this huge global city? Understand its value. Discover what response it demands of you, be it patience, courage, honesty, loyalty, simplicity, or contentment. And remember, this situation may be part of a larger plan, or perhaps it's just fate playing its role, and that person causing you trouble. They are like you, but perhaps disoriented about what is right. You, on the other hand, know. So treat them with kindness and fairness. Always evaluate the true importance of things. If you focus on the task at hand, using sound judgment and doing it wholeheartedly and without distractions, and if you keep your conscience clean, as if you had to account for it at any moment, then you will be content. Think of it this way. Just as doctors always have their tools for emergencies, you should always have your core values ready. They are vital to both your personal and spiritual life. You cannot excel in the human realm without acknowledging the spiritual and vice versa. Don't wander aimlessly. You won't have forever to reflect on your past or dive into the classics you left for later. Reach the purpose of your life, leave the illusionary thinking, and help yourself, especially when you have the means to do so. Some people don't grasp the depth behind words like see or hear. It's not just about the eyes, it's a deeper understanding. We dislike the body, feel the soul, desire, and the mind rationalizes. All creatures can feel, even animals desire, while even the most undisciplined or those who have lost their way also have it. What distinguishes a truly good person is their ability to accept what life presents them and maintain inner peace. They will not allow their inner divinity to be tainted by negative thoughts or chaos. They will always strive for truth and justice, even if others doubt their authenticity. They will stay true to their path without hesitation, facing the end of life with a calm spirit, ready and at peace with their journey. Book 4. Finding Inner Tranquility. Our inner being has this incredible characteristic. When it aligns with our true nature, it adapts to whatever life presents. Think of it as a blazing fire. A small flame can be extinguished with a bit of wind, but a strong fire uses challenges to burn brighter. Whatever you do, have a reason for it, always aiming for perfection. You know how people are always seeking getaways? A trip to the beach, a cabin in the woods, or a retreat on top of the mountain. While all these are great, you have the ultimate refuge within you. Delving deep into your own mind can bring the kind of peace those getaways offer, perhaps even better. True calm comes from putting your mind in order. So whenever the world becomes too noisy, take a mini vacation in your head. Reset, and as you clear your mind, keep your guiding principles short and sweet. They will help you return to reality, feeling renewed. If you feel irritated with people, remember that we are all in this together, and often people err unintentionally. Think of all the past drama, all those people who got so worked up and now are gone, dust in the wind. Relax. If you feel troubled about your place in the big picture, simply remember that everything is either random or there's a big plan. Either way, what does it matter? Just fit in where you can and keep the peace. And if you are too tied to the physical world, remember the separation between mind and body. Remember the lessons about pain, pleasure, and the fleeting nature of everything. Relax. And if you chase fame, think about this. Fame is temporary, time will move on, and memories will fade. Think of the vastness of time and space. Your 15 minutes of fame are just a flash. Find your peace. So, here's the game plan. Dive into your inner sanctuary when things get tough. Stay firm and see things from a human perspective, knowing you are just a grain of sand in this vast universe. Remember two things. External things don't really affect your soul. It's all about your perception, and everything you see around you is constantly changing. Life is about transformation, and your point of view shapes your reality. When someone says, "I love my hometown," shouldn't we all feel, "I love this universe, my universal home"? We seek peace of mind by doing only what is necessary and what aligns with our social nature. We often fill our days with unnecessary actions and thoughts. Simplify. Your reaction, if someone makes a mistake, is that they face the consequences. Did life throw you a curveball? Well, the universe had it planned for you all along. Life is short. So deal with what is right in front of you with reason and fairness. Relax, but stay focused. The universe has a plan, or it's chaos that somehow works. But how can you be in chaos while the universe is in harmony? Especially when everything is interconnected. Be careful with toxic traits. Stubbornness, impulsiveness, deceit, ignorance, and more can take hold of you if you're not careful. If you don't know how the universe works, you're a stranger. If you resent life's hardships, you are isolating yourself from the universe's flow, disconnected from the communal vibe simply because things aren't going your way. It's like ripping a piece from a beautiful carpet. Some find wisdom without luxuries, others without books. Some may lack the basics in life, but still hold on to their principles. And others may not capitalize on their knowledge, but remain true to their core beliefs. Embrace the skills and knowledge you have, even if they seem modest. Move forward in life trusting that you've done your best and that the universe is on your side. Live freely, without trying to dominate or be dominated by anyone. Think about the era of Vespasian. People got married, raised children, fell ill, died, fought, partied, worked, farmed, showed stubbornness, conspired, hoped others would fail, and pursued power. But now, that vibe from that era is long gone. Fast forward to Trajan's time, the same cycle. This cycle continues. Simply remember the people who wasted time on meaningless things without focusing on their true selves. Remember to give attention where it is due, and you will stay firm. Remember how some ancient words now sound outdated. The same with famous names like Camillus, Scipio, and even Augustus. They all had their moment, but now they are just names in history books. The great lesson is that people's bad reputations are forgotten as soon as they are gone. Even legends fade away. So, what is really worth our energy? Aim for honesty and words and actions that benefit everyone. Accept life as it comes, recognizing that everything is part of a bigger picture. Flow with life, letting fate guide your path. Everything is fleeting, both memories and the remembered. Keep in mind that change is the only constant. Feel the idea that the universe is always evolving and loves to create the new from the old. But don't think only about the earth or life. That's old school thinking. Life is short, and you are still complicating yourself with the randomness of life. The true battlefield is how you perceive and interpret things. When challenges affect good and bad people equally, it's a reminder that these situations are not inherently bad. Even if you face difficulties, train your mind to stay calm and see things without judgment. Life is fleeting, like a river. Events come and go quickly, replacing old moments with new ones. Everything we experience, whether roses in spring, fruits in summer, or even challenges like illnesses and betrayals, is just part of life's grand tapestry. It's not random chaos, but a beautifully intricate design where everything is interconnected in an almost magical sequence. Imagine the universe as a harmonious entity. All events, people, and elements work together like threads intertwining in a fabric. This worldview helps us see our place as conscious beings, navigating the world in our temporary bodies. As Epictetus wisely said, "Embrace change. It's neither good nor bad, just a natural progression." And while we experience life's transitions, don't forget Heraclitus's view. Everything is in transformation. The earth turns into water, water into air, air into fire, only to return to its origin. In this vast, interconnected cycle, it's surprising how often we get carried away by the mundane or forget the bigger scheme. Live consciously, not just following old patterns or mimicking what was taught to you. And if you encounter the existential question about the length of life, be it years or just another day, embrace it. After all, what really matters is the depth and richness of the journey, not its duration. Think about how many doctors died after worrying about their patients, or those astrologers who made great claims predicting others' deaths, and philosophers debating life and death, or warriors and dictators acting as if they would live forever. Remember cities like Pompeii, wiped out in the blink of an eye. Consider the number of people you've known who had fleeting lives. Everyone's time comes, and when it does, it's as natural as an olive falling from a tree when it's ripe. Live your life naturally, and when it's time to go, do so in peace, appreciating the journey. Be resilient. Be like that cliff against which the waves crash but remains firm, turning turbulent waters into calm. Bad things happen, but instead of thinking, "Why me?" think, "How can I handle this with grace?" Just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Don't let what life presents affect your virtues or peace of mind. Challenges aren't curses. Handling them well can be a blessing. Think of those who cling to life. What did they really gain compared to those who passed early? At the end of the day, they too found their resting place. Life is just a brief moment between birth and death, full of highs and lows. Why overestimate the moment, especially when you look at the vast expanse of time that has passed and the infinite time to come? What's the difference between living a few days or a few decades in this grand scheme? Always take the most direct path, the one that aligns with reason. It's the safest way to a life without complications, free of drama and pretense. Sticking to the real and genuine will bring peace. Book 5, A Guide to Everyday Life. When you wake up in the morning feeling sleepy, remember that you are ready for another day in the life of a human being. Why complain about doing what you are here to do? Were you made just to snuggle under the covers? Yes, that feels good, but is life only about feeling comfortable? Look around. Birds, plants, and even small ants are doing their part, working, and you're just going to stay there. Of course, rest is important, but there is a limit. Don't worry about overindulging in food or entertainment, but when it comes to making a difference, do you hesitate? If you loved yourself, you would embrace your potential. Think about it. Artists, athletes, and even people obsessed with money or fame give up sleep, food, and everything to pursue their passion. Aren't your life goals worth that effort? You can easily set aside things or thoughts that bother you. Find your peace. Do what feels right. Don't be distracted by critics. Everyone has their own path and priorities. Focus on your path, in tune with your true self and the universe. Life is a cycle. We breathe, live, and finally return to the same elements from which we came. That's how it goes. If people don't get your sense of humor, it's fine, but you have other amazing qualities. Show them. Be authentic, hardworking, not giving in to every temptation, content with what you have, kind and straightforward. Focus on these qualities. You have the power to be all this and more without excuses. Stop belittling yourself. If you are not the sharpest tool in the shed, work on it. Don't lament or make a spectacle of it. Simply be the best version of yourself. When you do someone a favor, there are generally 3 ways to do it. Some people immediately expect recognition. Others are more subtle and quietly hope the other person remembers the kind gesture. And then there is that rare breed that just moves on, like a tree that drops fruit and doesn't expect applause. It simply does its thing and moves on. We should probably be like that, but it's natural to want others to recognize our good deeds. It's part of being human. Wrap your head around the idea that you are doing someone a favor just seeking validation. If you understand the point, you will find a balance. You will do good, be noticed, and it will not interfere with your social vibe. Here's a classic thought from Athens. "Hey Zeus, can we get some rain around here?" Ideally, we should keep our wishes simple or not wish for anything at all. When you hear the doctor's recommendations to go to the gym, take cold showers, or get rid of your shoes, think of it this way. Sometimes life gives you lemons, not because you asked for them, but because that's what's on your plate. It's like saying, "Hey, this is yours now." Just like a doctor prescribes something for health, life prescribes challenges for growth. We are all pieces of a puzzle that fit into a larger picture. It's the grand design of the universe. Everything is about balance, and even if you don't fully understand it, at least recognize that it was meant to be. The main idea is to embrace what life presents to you, even the difficult, because it is for a greater good. Everything that happens, even not so grand, contributes to the health of the universe. The master plan is part of a complex and interwoven network. Complaining or rejecting it is like cutting this fabric. So, flow with the circumstances. Accept the highs and lows and trust that everything has its place and purpose. Falling short of your principles? Don't stress. We all stumble sometimes. The important thing is to recover. It's like that friend with the messy room who occasionally tidies up. Don't think of personal improvement as if you had a drill sergeant. Breathe. Being tempted is natural, but there is more to life. Think about it. Courage, honesty, good vibes, and authenticity are more satisfying. Isn't the peace that comes from understanding the world around you the best pleasure? Life can be very confusing. Even intelligent philosophers and deep thinkers sometimes give up. Everything is fleeting, changing. Think of all the shiny things people chase. Are they worth it? Not really, especially when you think that anyone, even someone you might despise, can have them. Let's be realistic. Tolerating people, including ourselves, can be a challenge. In the midst of all this chaos, what is really worth pursuing? Not much. What is really real is reminding yourself that whatever comes into your life is part of the grand cosmic plan, and you always have the power to stay true to yourself. No one can divert you from your path. Have you ever stopped and wondered what your mind is really doing at this moment? Check who is running the show up there. Is it a moody teenager, a scared child, a diva, or some wild creature? There's a litmus test for what people value. If someone truly recognizes the value of wisdom, patience, fairness, and resilience, they will not be swayed by the superficial seduction society often promotes. On the other hand, if someone is caught up in the pursuit of material wealth or fleeting fame, they will find joy in trivial excess. It's indicative. When a joke about abundance is funny in the context of materialism, but sounds absurd when applied to virtues, it's a warning sign. In summary, pursuing excess to the point of being overwhelming is like a mansion where you can't even find the bathroom. The true value is in recognizing what really enhances our lives. I am made of tangible and intangible elements. None of them will disappear, for they did not come from nothing. Parts of me will evolve into parts of the universe, and these will change into other parts, and so on. That's the cycle that brought me, my ancestors, and everything into existence. It's like an endless relay race. Logic and philosophy are self-sufficient tools. They start from their own starting point and advance to their established destination. Therefore, actions driven by them are considered to be on the right path. They are always on the right path. We should not label things as intrinsic to us if they are not natural to our human essence. These things are not promised, nor are they essential for our growth. If they were truly part of us, it would not be commendable to live without them. However, the more we can do without them, or the more patient we are when we lose them, the more satisfied we feel. Your repetitive thoughts shape your mind. They take on the color of these thoughts. Remember this constantly. You can thrive wherever you live. Everything is designed for a reason and is driven towards that purpose. The true value of everything lies in its ultimate goal. For humans, this is society. We are social beings by design. Isn't it clear that everything has a hierarchy? Living beings have an advantage over non-living ones, and among living beings, those with reasoning lead the list. Pursuing the impossible is simply setting yourself up for disappointment. We all face challenges. Some don't even notice or dismiss them as no big deal. But if they can overcome them, why not us? It is laughable to let ignorance get the better of wisdom. Always remember, life's events don't truly touch your inner core. They can't influence you. Your soul decides your perspective. We should help and empathize with people around us. However, when they get in our way, we should see them as any other challenge, like unexpected rain on your parade. The beauty of our mindset is in its power to turn these challenges into opportunities. It is crucial to drive this and similarly honor the strength within you. Both dictate and guide the entirety of our existence on a larger scale. If something doesn't affect the community, it shouldn't bother its individuals. When you face problems, evaluate their effect on the larger group, and instead of feeling an effect, guide the person causing it. Maybe they just need a different perspective. The fleeting moments of life come and go in the blink of an eye. Everything is in constant flow. Why worry about the impermanent? Why get consumed by pride or stress? They are simple passing clouds while you navigate this vast universe and timeline. Remember that you are just a dot in the grand scheme of things. However, in any altercation, if someone is causing trouble, that's their burden. They walk their path, carrying their actions. As for you, you have life's lessons and instincts that guide your steps. Don't let your core, your mental spirit, be dragged by physical sensations, whether good or bad. Recognize these feelings for what they are, but don't let your judgment label them as good or bad. They are just sensations. Living in tune with the universe is like living in harmony with the gods. You are in tune with the universe when you are content with your situation in life and when you follow your inner voice, that guiding instinct everyone is born with. It is your internal compass. Do you have a problem with someone's bad breath or body odor? Getting irritated won't help, neither them nor you. If someone has an issue, tell them, but do it gently. If they understand, great. No need to get upset about it. And let's be honest, we all have our quirks. Your life here is yours to control. If the environment or people around you are toxic, then move away, but don't make a scene about it. Up to this point, do what you feel is right, and no one should have the power to say otherwise. The universe is about connections. Everything is in its place for a reason, with the smaller parts serving the larger ones. Note the harmony. It is by design. Reflect on your past actions. How have you treated those close to you, from family to friends and those who work for you? Can you confidently say you were fair and kind to everyone? Think about your journey so far, the highs and lows, and all the experiences that shaped you. Remember the beauty you witnessed, the challenges you overcame, the values you held on to, and the kindness you showed, even to those who didn't return the favor. Finally, don't let the uninformed opinions of others shake someone who knows better. The true understanding is recognizing the patterns, the beginning and the end, the logic that permeates everything and drives the universe in its eternal dance. Soon we will all be dust or bones, and our names will be just a whisper, if that. The things people stress about are really pointless drama. It's like watching puppies play fight or children laughing one moment and crying the next. But where are loyalty, humility, fairness and honesty? They seem to have disappeared. So what really is keeping you here? If everything is always changing and we can't completely trust our senses and our souls are just something transient, why worry about fame in this chaotic world? Why not relax and wait for what comes next? Until then, what really matters? Simply respect the universe, do good to others, stay calm, and remember that everything beyond our immediate control is none of our business. You can live a peaceful life if you think and act correctly. There is something all conscious beings share, the desire not to be held back by others and to find purpose in doing what is right. If something isn't due to my errors or doesn't affect everyone's well-being, why worry about it? And even if it does affect everyone, is it really that bad? Don't get carried away by first impressions. Help others as much as possible, and if they make mistakes in trivial things, don't worry about it. Think of it as an elderly person asking for their childhood toy back. It's just a toy. Have you ever felt lost in the emotion of public opinion? Remember what all this means. Are you going to lose your mind over what others are obsessed with? Did you think you had everything and then lost the real fortune? It's not about having things, but having a calm mind, maintaining a positive attitude, and doing good. Book 6. Navigating the Universe. The universe flows smoothly, without malice. It does not harm intentionally nor interrupt. Everything reaches its maximum potential within this flow. Whether you are cold or hot, tired or awake, loved or despised, remember that every moment, including death, has its role in life. Reflect continuously. Understand the true essence and value of your environment. Realize that change is the only constant, with everything evolving or dispersing in its time. The guiding force of the universe is always aware of its role and influence, so trust its wisdom. Revenge is an empty pursuit. Rising above is the true victory. Seek joy in every interaction and transition between life's events, with the grand scheme of the universe in mind. Our internal compass can adapt and shape our perceptions. Reflect on the nature of the universe. Is it chaotic disorder or an orderly masterpiece? If it is chaos, our worries are trivial since we all return to dust. But if it is a harmonious design, trust and find comfort in its cosmic dance. When life knocks you off balance, quickly return to your center. Don't let chaos last longer than necessary. It's like balancing between two worlds. Imagine having both a stepmother and a true mother. You would respect the stepmother, but always find solace with your mother. Think of the world as the stepmother and your fundamental beliefs or philosophy as your true mother. Dive back into what connects you to yourself to handle what the world presents. Take a moment to see things as they really are. That expensive dinner is just dead fish or chicken. That expensive wine is grape juice. That designer dress is sheep wool dyed with crustacean blood. Strip away the glamour and see reality. Remember that appearances can be deceiving, especially when you believe you are on the right path. Often, people admire basic things like rocks or trees. Some, with a bit more vision, appreciate animals, and others value human skills or power. But real change comes from someone who understands and values the rational and social human soul. If you are that person, you will prioritize understanding, compassion, and collaboration. Everything is always changing. Some things emerge while others disappear. The world is in a constant state of flow, just like time, which never stops. So in this ever-changing world, why obsess over fleeting moments? It's like trying to hold a flying bird. It's already gone. Your life is equally fleeting, made up of moments like breaths taken and released. Value the present, but don't cling too tightly. When life seems chaotic, what really matters is not superficial things like getting attention or applause. True value isn't in physical processes like breathing or eating. And honestly, who cares about getting a standing ovation? Fame is fleeting and can't be the ultimate goal. What really matters is aligning with your true self, your essence. That's the goal of every skill or craft, perfecting your purpose. When you achieve it, other things become trivial. Death is the great equalizer. Think about it. A powerful king like Alexander the Great and his servant ended up in the same place. Both returned to the building blocks of the universe, or simply became dust. Life is quite complex. Think about all the things happening in your body and mind simultaneously. Now think of the universe as a whole, with countless things happening at the same time. It's impressive, isn't it? Imagine someone asks you how to spell a name like Antoninus. You would spell it calmly, right? And if they shouted at you, you would respond the same way, wouldn't you? Stay calm and carry on. That's an elegant way to think about how to handle life's tasks and people's attitudes. Stay calm and move forward. When someone makes a mistake, remember they are doing what they believe is best. It may not be, but instead of getting frustrated, guide them. Teach them without getting irritated. Thinking about death is basically disconnecting from the feelings, desires, thoughts, and needs of our body. Isn't it a bit sad if our spirit gives in before our body? Stay strong. Don't get lost trying to become the big boss or succumb to exaggeration. Instead, be authentic, stay real. Be true to yourself, be kind, and hold firm to what is right. Live your life in a way that would make your mentors proud. Look at people like Antoninus. Remember how he was calm, treated everyone fairly, listened more than he spoke, and never let trivial gossip affect him. Remember how he appreciated simple things. He was consistent in his friendships and always open to new ideas. Aspire to have that peace of mind. When your time comes, stop over-analyzing. You know how you wake up from a dream and realize it was all in your head. Do the same with real-life drama. See it for what it is. Just noise. We are all a mix of body and mind. The body doesn't get entangled in drama. It just does its task. The same should go for the mind. It should focus on the here and now. The past and future don't matter. Don't worry about the present. Each part has its role. Hands do hand things, feet do foot things, and as humans, our job is simply to be human. So, if you are doing your best and being true to yourself, you are on the right path. But seriously, even the bad ones had their good moments. Don't measure your worth by fleeting pleasures. Have you noticed how professionals, whether builders or doctors, always stick to the fundamentals of their profession, especially when explaining things to beginners? It's fascinating. If they value their expertise more than we value the fundamental principles of being human, it puts things in perspective. Asia and Europe are just small segments of the world. The oceans are simple drops in the vast universe. The mountains are simple points in the grand scheme of things. Everything we know is fleeting and always changing, and yet everything has its origin and connection. So, don't disdain the seemingly insignificant. Everything emerges from the same deep source. If you witnessed an event in a certain way, you saw the history and future of everything. All past and present events are interconnected in some mysterious way, as if they were part of a great tapestry. Always keep aware of the interconnectedness of the world. It's as if the universe were a big puzzle, and each piece, no matter how small, plays a crucial role. That's the wonder of our existence. Accept the hand life has dealt you, and appreciate the people who are part of your journey. And when you show love, do it genuinely. Every object, whether a tool or a container, has a purpose and remains functional even in the absence of its creator. Nature's creations are even more intriguing, operating with inherent wisdom. If you can respect and align with this energy, everything starts to fall into place. If you stress over factors beyond your reach, you may find yourself irritated with the universe or even blaming others. But if you focus on what is within your domain, life becomes much more harmonious. We are all in this together. Some people know exactly what they are doing and why, while others may be confused, going through the motions as if they were sleepwalking. Heraclitus once said that even sleepwalkers contribute to the functioning of the universe. We all play our part, even those who criticize or try to obstruct. The universe needs them too, so you need to figure out what role you're playing. Whatever the universe, it will find a way to use you. Just make sure you are not just a forgettable line in the great work of life. Think about it. Does the sun try to do the job of the rain? Does Aesculapius, the god of medicine, try to take on the duties of the earth? Even the stars, as diverse as they are, work harmoniously towards a collective goal. If the gods have a plan for me, I trust it to be good, for why would they want to harm me? What would they gain from it? If they planned the general aspects but not my individual path, I will still embrace whatever comes. If the gods did not chart any path, which is hard to believe, then at least I can chart my own course, choosing what aligns with my soul. I am a social and thinking being. In the context of my identity, my city is Rome, but as a human being, my home is the world. Therefore, I will focus on what benefits these places. Remember this: what is beneficial for one often benefits all. And by beneficial, I refer to those things that are neutral, not strictly good or bad. Have you ever grown tired of watching the same show or seeing the same places repeatedly? That is life for you. Everywhere are variations of the same. So what is the ultimate goal here? Remember that countless people from all walks of life and all corners of the world have lived and died. Think of famous people like Philistus, Phoebus, or Origen. Then think of other great minds, thinkers like Heraclitus, Pythagoras, and Socrates, heroes, leaders, and visionaries of the past. Do not forget brilliant minds like Eudoxus, Hipparchus, and Archimedes, and even those who mocked our short human lives, like Menippus. They all had their time and are now gone, but does that diminish their legacy? And what about those countless anonymous ones? What really matters is living a genuine life, being true, just, and kind-hearted, even to those who may not be the same to you. When you need a boost, reflect on the good qualities of those around you. Perhaps it is the dedication of a friend, the humility of another, or the generosity of someone else. Nothing is more uplifting than seeing the goodness in those with whom we share our lives. So, keep these examples close to your heart. You are probably okay with not weighing 300 pounds, right? So why stress about not living, say, 300 years? Just as you accept your physical attributes, accept the time you have. If you try to influence someone, do it gently, but if you need to act for what is right, do not hesitate. And if someone opposes you firmly, stay calm and seek an alternative. Remember, you are not trying to achieve the impossible, but rather a genuine effort. If you pursue fame, you likely value the deeds of others as if they were your own, while those who seek pleasure are focused on how things make them feel. But if you are wise, you recognize that it is your actions that truly define your worth. It is crucial to remember that we have the power not to form opinions about everything external. External things do not automatically influence our feelings or beliefs. Always make the effort to truly listen when someone is speaking, to genuinely understand where they are coming from. This idea of being attentive and understanding applies broadly. What is bad for the group is generally bad for the individual after all. It is like a crew criticizing their captain during a storm or patients doubting their doctor. Without trust, how can we move forward? Life is fleeting. Many people I started this journey with are no longer here. Perspective is everything. Someone with liver problems may find honey repulsive, while a child finds joy in a simple ball. Our perceptions can be biased, so why waste energy on anger? Stay true to yourself, for no one can divert you from this path. And always keep in mind that time fades most things. Therefore, focus on what really matters instead of fleeting moments of validation. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write "mind over body" so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. Book 7. Interconnected Realities. Do you ever feel like you are seeing the same things repeatedly? That is because the cycles and patterns of life repeat. Stories from the past and present reflect the same themes. The truth is that there is nothing truly new under the sun. Everything is familiar and ephemeral. Do you wonder how to keep your values alive? Keep nurturing those thoughts and beliefs that align with them. If you believe in something, stand firm in it. Why worry about external things that are not part of your core? If you feel lost, simply revisit the things that once meant a lot to you. That is how you rediscover yourself. Life is full of distractions, sports, TV shows, daily tasks. Think of ants working or a puppet show. It is all the same thing. Amid all this, stay calm. Remember that you are as significant as the things you prioritize. Whether talking or observing, be present. Listen carefully to the words and actions. Ask yourself, is this aligned with my understanding? If so, dive into it. If not, step back and let someone more capable take the lead, or do your best with a little help. After all, it is about positively contributing to society. Many are thrown into fame only to be forgotten. Many who praised others are no longer remembered. If you need help, seek it. Think of yourself as a soldier on a mission. If you need a boost to overcome an obstacle, why not? Do not worry about the future. You will handle it as you are handling the present, using your wisdom and judgment. Everything is connected, and that connection is sacred. We are all part of a universe, influenced by a universal force. There is a shared essence in all of us, a common understanding, a truth. Everything physical eventually returns to the universe. Every thought returns to universal consciousness, and memories fade with time. Things happen. Let your external part deal with the external blows. Your inner being, your soul, remains intact unless you allow negative thoughts to infiltrate. No matter what happens around you, stay true to yourself. It is like gold that remains gold, no matter what happens to it. Your true self is not easily disturbed unless you shake it yourself. Do not overanalyze. Do not panic or dwell in pain. If others stress or hurt you, that is their problem. Your soul remains solid, undisturbed by external drama, unless you allow it. Happiness is like having a guardian angel. Daydreaming is not needed here. I know you're doing your job, but please step back. I got this. Worried about change. Nothing happens without it. It is natural and necessary. Can you cook without changing the ingredients? Can you grow without changing yourself? Accepting change is simply flowing with the universe's vibration. Life flows through the universe, connecting everything. Remember, Even great thinkers like Socrates or Epictetus were eventually forgotten by time. It is natural. What bothers me is doing something that is not in tune with my true self at the moment, or in the wrong way. In the end, we all forget and are forgotten. That is how we are. We have this unique trait, yet we can still care for those who make mistakes. Why? Maybe you see them as family, or realize they erred out of ignorance, not malice. Remember, we all have limited time here. Hey, their mistake did not affect your true self, so you are okay. Nature is like a master sculptor using the same clay to mold a horse 1 minute, a tree the next, and perhaps you after that. Everything is temporary, but just because something ends does not mean it was wrong or broken. Constant negativity is not your natural state. If you overdo it, you will lose that inner spark, perhaps forever. Take it as a sign that it is not the right way to think. If you lose the ability to recognize what is right, what is the point of going on? Nature keeps things fresh, transforming everything you see now into something different tomorrow, ensuring the world always has a new face. You have the power, at any time and place, to embrace where you are, treat those around you well, and keep your thoughts under control. Do not meddle in how others conduct their lives. Focus on your own path, on what life presents to you, and on how your inner self reacts. Everything is designed with a purpose. Just as smaller things serve the larger ones, we humans are made for each other. Being social is at the core of being human. The second thing is not to yield to all bodily impulses. Logic and reason should guide us, not just feelings or desires. After all, our capacity to think rationally should control them, not the other way around. And lastly, keep your head high and be true. Stick to these principles, and you will be on the right path. Imagine if you had lived your entire life up to now and only had a little time left. Live the rest naturally, accepting what life presents as part of your journey, and nothing fits better than that. Remember all those who came before you, who stressed, acted as if everything was a big deal, and complained non-stop. Where are they now? They are gone. So why follow in their footsteps? Let those who want to make a fuss do so. Focus on making the best of every situation, stay true to yourself, and strive to be good at everything you do. Look deep within yourself. There is a source of goodness there. Keep looking, and it will keep giving. Your body should be balanced, not uncomfortable, whether in motion or at rest. Your face reflects what is in your mind. Make your body do the same, but in a genuine way. Life is much more a struggle than a dance. You must be prepared for surprises that may knock you down. Pay attention to whose opinion matters to you and understand their values. This way, you will not be too hard on those who make mistakes unintentionally and will not crave validation from people who really do not matter. Remember that everyone can get lost, whether from the truth or being fair and kind. Keeping this in mind will help you be more understanding. When in pain, remember that there is no shame in it, and it does not change who you are at your core. Here is a little advice from Epicurus. Pain is neither endless nor too much to handle, especially if you know it is temporary, and do not worsen it in your head. Think about it. There are other uncomfortable things, like being very sleepy, too hot, or not hungry, that we do not label as pain. So if you are frustrating yourself with them, remember it is just a different kind of discomfort. Be careful not to feel superior in an inhuman way, just as they feel towards others. Just because Socrates was famous for his noble death and arguments, does that make him better than someone less known like Tycho? It is not just about the big moments, like rejecting orders or resisting tough times. The real question is whether Socrates stayed true to himself, treated others well, and kept living with integrity. The quality of a soul is what really counts. Your mind is not so tied to your body that you cannot control it. It is entirely possible to be amazing without everyone noticing. Remember that it does not take much to live a full life. Just because you are not the best speaker or scientist does not mean you cannot be genuine, kind, and in tune with the universe. You can live with peace and clarity. No matter how at odds the world is with you, or even if you face physical threats, your mentality can remain calm. Making decisions to the fullest in every situation. See things as they really are, not just as people perceive them. Embrace each moment, since every challenge or event is an opportunity to grow, whether in relation to others or the universe. Nothing is too unexpected or challenging if you have the right perspective. Living with integrity means treating each day as if it were your last, staying genuine and not being overly dramatic or just going with the flow. Now, consider this. If immortal beings can handle and even care for imperfect humans forever, should we not show some patience, especially with our short lifespans? After all, none of us are perfect. It is a bit ridiculous to avoid others' imperfections when we cannot even address our own. Anything that does not resonate with clarity or unity simply does not live up to genuine relationships and clear thinking. When you help someone and they are grateful, that is real. Why expect praise or repayment? Everyone values what is good for them, and acting naturally is beneficial for all. So keep spreading that kindness. And regarding the universe, whether everything is planned or some events are just random, keeping this perspective can really help keep things calm. Book 8. Finding Your Own Path. Let's be realistic. You have not lived your entire life, not even your youth, pursuing pure wisdom. This is obvious to both you and everyone around you. At this point, reaching the title of wise philosopher seems out of reach given the choices you have made. But if you are interested in understanding what truly matters, let go of the obsession with how others see you. Focus on living as your true self. So far, you have sought true happiness in debates, money, fame, pleasures, and have not found it, right? The real solution lies in acting according to your human nature. This comes down to knowing what is truly good. Virtues like justice, self-control, courage. Anything opposed to this is bad news. Before taking any action, ask yourself, is this true to me? Will I regret it? Life is short, and I will soon depart. So if my action is aligned with intelligence, social harmony, and cosmic law, that is what matters. Think of the greats like Alexander, Caesar, Pompey, compared to deep thinkers like Diogenes, Heraclitus, or Socrates. They too were not tied to many worldly concerns. People will be people, and exploring will not change that. Here is the deal. Stay calm. Everything happens according to the rhythm of the universe. Soon, you, like Hadrian, Antoninus, and Seneca, will also depart. But that does not mean your legacy will be lost. Speak your truth, but do so with humility and sincerity. It is all part of the universe's dance, rearranging things, changing. Change is the only constant, but there is no need for anxiety. Everything is familiar territory. We just need to find our place in this ever-changing pattern. We all feel content when we are aligned with our true selves. For thinking individuals, this alignment comes from clarity of thought, social focus, and what is truly under our control. Embracing what life presents to us is essential. It is vital to remember that we are part of a larger whole, like leaves on a tree. The key is our ability to think and make decisions. So when making comparisons, consider the broader context, not just isolated aspects. If you feel overwhelmed and complain that there is no time to read or reflect, there is always time to drop arrogance, Rise above trivial desires and stop seeking constant validation. Additionally, it is worth abstaining from endless complaints about daily life. Regret often feels like scolding oneself for missing something valuable, but if something is truly valuable, a perceptive person would prioritize it always. Regularly question yourself about the core essence of things, their true nature, their role in the big picture, and their permanence. When waking up feels like a chore, remember that we are designed to connect and collaborate. While sleep is fundamental, our distinct human interactions set us apart. Whenever you encounter someone, make a quick mental note. What do they believe about right and wrong? Understand that if they view life, fame, pleasure, or pain a certain way, they will act accordingly. Recognize that their actions are driven by these beliefs. It is absurd to be surprised when things go according to their point of view. When new information is presented, it is not weakness to adjust your beliefs. Simply, you are adapting to new knowledge. If something is within your control, deal with it. If not, why complain? If you can change the root cause, great. If not, try to manage what is within your reach. Despair is useless. The universe is like a work in progress. Nothing is erased from existence. It is transformed, becoming part of the universe and, in essence, part of you. Everything has a purpose. Horses, plants, even the sun. What is yours? If it is just for pleasure, reflect if it really makes sense. Each phase of life and existence has a reason. From a ball in motion to a bubble popping, there is a purpose behind it. Focus on what is right in front of you, whether it is a thought, an action, or a word. If you choose to be better tomorrow instead of today, then any challenge faced is deserved. In all your actions, keep in mind the well-being of humanity. If something crosses your path, accept it in tune with the bigger picture, the grand design of life and the universe. Life, in all its facets, has its less glamorous sides. Embrace each part of it. Lucilla saw Verus die, and then she followed. She saw Maximus depart, and she too went. The pattern continues with Epiphanius, Taninos, and Scylla, seeing their loved ones leave, and then they themselves. What happened to intelligent people like Carax or Demetrius? They are all gone, some forgotten, some became legends, and others even vanished from these tales. Remember, we are all on the same path. We will move forward, pass away, or be transcended. What is naturally human feels right. It is in our nature to care for others, think beyond our immediate feelings, judge situations critically, and understand the vastness of the universe. At this point, reaching the title of wise philosopher seems out of reach given the choices you have made. But if you are interested in understanding what truly matters, let go of the obsession with how others see you. Focus on living as your true self. So far, you have sought true happiness in debates, money, fame, pleasures, and have not found it, right? The real solution lies in acting according to your human nature. This comes down to knowing what is truly good. Virtues like justice, self-control, courage. Anything opposed to this is bad news. Before taking any action, ask yourself, is this true to me? Will I regret it? Life is short, and I will soon depart. So if my action is aligned with intelligence, social harmony, and cosmic law, that is what matters. Think of the greats like Alexander, Caesar, Pompey, compared to deep thinkers like Diogenes, Heraclitus, or Socrates. They too were not tied to many worldly concerns. People will be people, and exploring will not change that. Here is the deal. Stay calm. Everything happens according to the rhythm of the universe. Soon, you, like Hadrian, Antoninus, and Seneca, will also depart. But that does not mean your legacy will be lost. Speak your truth, but do so with humility and sincerity. It is all part of the universe's dance, rearranging things, changing. Change is the only constant, but there is no need for anxiety. Everything is familiar territory. We just need to find our place in this ever-changing pattern. We all feel content when we are aligned with our true selves. For thinking individuals, this alignment comes from clarity of thought, social focus, and what is truly under our control. Embracing what life presents to us is essential. It is vital to remember that we are part of a larger whole, like leaves on a tree. The key is our ability to think and make decisions. So when making comparisons, consider the broader context, not just isolated aspects. If you feel overwhelmed and complain that there is no time to read or reflect, there is always time to drop arrogance, rise above trivial desires, and stop seeking constant validation. Additionally, it is worth abstaining from endless complaints about daily life. Regret often feels like scolding oneself for missing something valuable, but if something is truly valuable, a perceptive person would prioritize it always. Regularly question yourself about the core essence of things, their true nature, their role in the big picture, and their permanence. When waking up feels like a chore, remember that we are designed to connect and collaborate. While sleep is fundamental, our distinct human interactions set us apart. Whenever you encounter someone, make a quick mental note. What do they believe about right and wrong? Understand that if they view life, fame, pleasure, or pain a certain way, they will act accordingly. Recognize that their actions are driven by these beliefs. It is absurd to be surprised when things go according to their point of view. When new information is presented, it is not weakness to adjust your beliefs. Simply, you are adapting to new knowledge. If something is within your control, deal with it. If not, why complain? If you can change the root cause, great. If not, try to manage what is within your reach. Despair is useless. The universe is like a work in progress. Nothing is erased from existence. It is transformed, becoming part of the universe and, in essence, part of you. Everything has a purpose: horses, plants, even the sun. What is yours? If it is just for pleasure, reflect if it really makes sense. Each phase of life and existence has a reason. From a ball in motion to a bubble popping, there is a purpose behind it. Focus on what is right in front of you, whether it is a thought, an action, or a word. If you choose to be better tomorrow instead of today, then any challenge faced is deserved. In all your actions, keep in mind the well-being of humanity. If something crosses your path, accept it in tune with the bigger picture, the grand design of life and the universe. Life, in all its facets, has its less glamorous sides. Embrace each part of it. Lucilla saw Verus die, and then she followed. She saw Maximus depart, and she too went. The pattern continues with Epiphanius, Taninos, and Scylla, seeing their loved ones leave, and then they themselves. What happened to intelligent people like Carax or Demetrius? They are all gone, some forgotten, some became legends, and others even vanished from these tales. Remember, we are all on the same path. We will move forward, pass away, or be transcended. What is naturally human feels right. It is in our nature to care for others, think beyond our immediate feelings, judge situations critically, and understand the vastness of the universe. Or even you can go beyond and be the person who is aware of everything. If you find a bitter cucumber, throw it away. Thorns in your path? Simply walk around. It is that simple. Do not waste time wondering why they exist. If a carpenter has wood scraps, you do not question that. Nature has no outside to throw things to. Its beauty lies in recycling old and decaying things, transforming them. Nature works with what it has in its own space, without needing more. Stay active in your actions. Be clear in your words. Focus your thoughts. Keep drama away from you, and do not overload your life. Reserve some free moments. So, What happens if people hurt you, insult you, or hate you? How does that stop you from being the best version of yourself? Think of a clear fountain. If someone curses it, the water keeps flowing fresh. If they throw dirt in it, it cleans itself. Do you want that kind of resilience? Practice freedom, contentment, simplicity, and humility whenever you can. If you do not understand the world, you are lost in it. If you cannot see the purpose of the world, you will not understand your role. Yet many of us seek the approval of those equally lost. Why seek validation from someone constantly depressed? Why impress someone full of regrets? Your thoughts should not only harmonize with your environment, but also with the consciousness that is everywhere, waiting for those who are open to it. Remember that bad actions do not destabilize the world. People's mistakes only harm themselves and can be corrected when they choose to. Consider the sun. Its light extends everywhere without being lost or diluted. Your understanding should be equally illuminating, not hesitating before challenges. The fear of death is the fear of the unknown or an altered existence. But life ends without pain or evolves differently. We exist for each other. Help when you can and be patient. Always keep your intentions and actions straightforward, aiming for mutual understanding with those around you. I left all my drama behind, placed it on the sidewalk. It wasn't lurking outside. It was my mindset that needed to change. History repeats itself, my friend. What we see today is the same as always, just as in the days of our ancestors. Objects do not judge themselves, nor do they judge us. So, who is the judge? It is our perceptions. Our mindset is not about being inactive. It is what you do or do not do that defines good and evil in us, our choices, actions. This is where our true values are shown. Think about the state you want to be in when it is your time to depart. Reflect on how short life is, the vastness of time, and how fragile everything is. Simplify things to their essence. Understand why things that make us happy or sad happen. What does death mean, and what is fame really? Understand that it's all in your head. When it comes to living according to your beliefs, be like that versatile fighter who uses his whole body, not like the gladiator who drops his weapon and is defeated. Go to the core of things, break them down into what they are made of, how they appear, why they exist. Realize the power we have. We can choose to do things that align with the universe and accept what comes without blaming anyone for anything. No one is ruining things on purpose. Don't be the person who is surprised by everyday things. Life is unpredictable. So we have three options. Everything is predestined, there is a higher power that cares for us, or everything is chaos. If everything is predestined, why fight against it? If there is a higher power, then work to be someone that power would want to help. If it's just chaos, at least you have your own sense of direction. Before judging someone who seems to have erred, think, do I really know the whole story? Even if they have erred, who says they are not already reprimanding themselves? You can't get mad at someone for acting according to their nature. It's like getting mad at a fig tree for having sap. So if someone is pushing your buttons, focus on fixing your reaction. Simple rules. If it makes you feel bad, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Always ask yourself, why am I doing or saying this? What is the real reason? Always dissect your perceptions. Ask what lies behind the surface. What is the form, the substance, the purpose, and when will it end? If you find yourself straying from these ideals, it's okay. Find your way back. If you can't, maybe it's time to reconsider your position. But always remember, life is short. So in a toxic scenario, live according to these values without needing validation. Also, remember our purpose. Just as a fig tree produces figs and a dog acts like a dog, we as humans have our roles. Align with this, and you will be on the right path. Daily challenges will continue to try to make you forget what you believe in. Often, you get so entangled in daily routines that you forget the bigger picture. Remember, you must do things in a way that not only deals with what is in front of you, but also broadens your understanding and confidence. And you don't need to brag about your knowledge. Just live it. When you truly value simplicity and understanding, you will know. A spider feels amazing catching a fly, just as someone might feel good catching a bigger prey. But if you really go deeper, aren't they all the same based on their mentality? Focus on understanding how everything is interconnected and evolving. Nothing builds resilience like this understanding. The person with this perspective has a detachment from trivialities, sees the bigger picture of life, and commits to doing what is right, regardless of what others think or say. They are content in acting justly and accepting what comes, leaving aside unnecessary distractions. If you are unsure of something, why panic? Assess the situation. If you see a clear path, take it with confidence. If not, seek advice. Stick to what seems right, and although you may not achieve what you seek, at least you will have tried something meaningful. A person guided by genuine reasoning remains calm, proactive, and focused. Every morning ask yourself, does it matter if someone else does the right thing? The answer is no. Those who judge quickly or boast about their official achievements think about their true character behind closed doors. What values are they really living by? When you understand life and nature, you are in harmony. Tell the universe, do what you want with me. And it's not about being arrogant, but about being in harmony and grateful. Your time here is limited. Live grandly, as if you were on top of a mountain, because honestly, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. What matters is living as part of a greater community. Show the world an authentic person who truly lives in harmony with nature. If they can't handle it, well, living true to yourself is better than living as many do today. Don't just talk about what it means to be a good person, simply be one. Life is like a powerful river, it sweeps everything along. But look at people absorbed in politics or playing at being philosophers. They simply babble. Can we really change what others think? Without it, aren't we just pretending? Look at the great names in history. They did well. There's no need to copy them. Keep the philosophy real and humble from a global perspective. Look at humanity, our ceremonies, journeys, births and deaths, routines. Think of past, future, and distant cultures. Many don't know you, and soon many will forget those who applaud you today and might criticize you tomorrow. Heritage is overrated. Stay calm when external chaos hits, and internally be fair. Act socially. This is your true nature. You can eliminate many things that stress you. It all depends on how you see them. Imagine understanding the universe or the times of eternity. Realize how quickly things change. Compare the brief moment between birth and death with the vast time before and after life. Everything you see is temporary. Even the people who see you. Everything is on borrowed time. The really old man ends up the same as the one who left too soon. What drives people? What values do they pursue? Think about seeing their intentions stripped bare. When they praise or criticize, what is their real game? Changes turn into loss. Nature thrives on this. History shows that it has always been like this and always will be. All things decompose. Water, rocks, gold, all return to basics. Your breath is also just another transition. Tired of routine and drama, right? Delve deeper and everything will be familiar. Simplify your relationship with the universe. Whether you stop to reflect for a lifetime or for a moment, it's the same thing. Did someone harm you? That's their problem. Or maybe they didn't really harm you. Everything in existence has an intelligent source, with parts working in harmony, or it's just chaos. Either way, what's the fuss? Self-evaluate periodically. Am I genuine? Am I blending in with the herd, or leading with authenticity? When you reflect on the divine, consider, if the gods are powerless, why bother praying? If they are powerful, why not seek inner strength and understanding instead of superficial desires? Maybe they have already empowered us. And if so, wouldn't it be wiser to use this power responsibly rather than yearning for what we don't have? Maybe they are helping more than you realize. Redirect your prayers to personal growth and you will see the change. Think of Epicurus. Even when he was sick, he didn't complain or change his focus. He remained discussing the mysteries of life regardless of difficulties. From life, stay in wisdom. Tune into the trivialities. Focus on your current tasks and the intention behind them. Have you ever felt bothered by someone's audacity or bad behavior? Understand that these personalities are part of the world's fabric. Instead of getting enraged, use the tools nature provides. Patience, understanding, and perspective. Mistakes are just misdirected intentions. Ask yourself, where is the real harm? Most perceived damages are just in our minds. When someone seems ignorant, maybe they have never been enlightened. If someone betrays your trust, reassess your judgment and expectations. Finally, when you offer kindness, do it selflessly. Expecting gratitude in return for good deeds is like your eyes demanding applause for seeing or your feet seeking praise for walking. Align with your true nature. Be good without expecting anything in return and trust that you are on the right path. Have you ever wondered why it's so challenging to remain authentic, transparent, and undivided? Why not find satisfaction in the present moment without yearning for more? Can't we appreciate what surrounds us, recognizing everything as a gift from the cosmos? Consider the idea that everything develops according to a greater plan, even if we don't always see it. Understand what truly aligns with your nature. If it resonates with your essence, accept it unless it disturbs your inner peace. And remember, we are social creatures by design. Keep these principles close and trivial worries will disappear. Life has its ups and downs. Ask yourself, are you prepared to deal with them? If so, face them head on. If not, know that they will pass. But remember that your perspective can transform almost any obstacle into an opportunity. If you see someone struggling, offer a hand. If you can't help, don't be too hard on yourself. Everyone is on their own path. Whatever life presents, believe it is part of a grand design in motion since the beginning of time. Embracing this idea brings harmony to existence. So, whether talking about a universe made of tiny particles or a connected system, the important thing is that I am a small part of a vast whole. I share a deep connection with other parts like me. Remembering this is more likely to make me accept what comes, knowing it is for the greater good. After all, if something is good for the entire system, it is probably good for me. Everything decomposes into its basic elements and then is reshaped, like recycling on a cosmic scale. The labels we give ourselves as good, honest, balanced, have meaning. Affirm yourself in them. Don't use them just for appearances. Being rational means paying attention and avoiding mistakes. Equanimity is about voluntarily accepting life's ups and downs, and being magnanimous is putting your mind above trivial matters. Stay true to these qualities, and the trajectory of your life will change for the better. If you find yourself straying from these ideals, it's okay. Find your way back. If you can't, maybe it's time to reconsider your position. But always remember, life is short. So in a toxic scenario, live according to these values without needing validation. Also, remember our purpose. Just as a fig tree produces figs and a dog acts like a dog, we, as humans, have our roles. Align with this, and you will be on the right path. Daily challenges will continue to try to make you forget what you believe in. Often, you get so entangled in daily routines that you forget the bigger picture. Remember, you must do things in a way that not only deals with what is in front of you, but also broadens your understanding and confidence. And you don't need to brag about your knowledge. Just live it. When you truly value simplicity and understanding, you will know. A spider feels amazing catching a fly, just as someone might feel good catching a bigger prey. But if you really go deeper, aren't they all the same based on their mentality? Focus on understanding how everything is interconnected and evolving. Nothing builds resilience like this understanding. The person with this perspective has a detachment from trivialities, sees the bigger picture of life, and commits to doing what is right, regardless of what others think or say. They are content in acting justly and accepting what comes, leaving aside unnecessary distractions. If you are unsure of something, why panic? Assess the situation. If you see a clear path, take it with confidence. If not, seek advice. Stick to what seems right. And although you may not achieve what you seek, at least you will have tried something meaningful. A person guided by genuine reasoning remains calm, proactive, and focused. Every morning, ask yourself, does it matter if someone else does the right thing? The answer is no. Those who judge quickly or boast about their official achievements think about their true character behind closed doors. What values are they really living by? When you understand life and nature, you are in harmony. Tell the universe, do what you want with me, and it's not about being arrogant, but about being in harmony and grateful. Your time here is limited. Live grandly, as if you were on top of a mountain, because honestly, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. What matters is living as part of a greater community. Show the world an authentic person who truly lives in harmony with nature. If they can't handle it, well, living true to yourself is better than living as many do today. Don't just talk about what it means to be a good person. Simply be one. Think about the vastness of time and everything that exists. In the grand scheme, each moment is like a quick turn of a drill, and each object is like a grain of dust. Everything you see is in a constant state of change, evolving or dissolving. It is natural for things to have an end. Think about people in their most basic moments, eating, sleeping, or even going to the bathroom. Then consider how they act when they boast or get angry. Remember, not long ago, they depended on others, and soon they will be in a completely different place in life. Whatever nature brings, something is for your own good and timely. Just as the earth welcomes the rain and the sky appreciates its vastness, the universe naturally creates everything. Tell the universe, I vibrate the way you do. Everything in existence has its own rhythm, its own love of being. Whether you are here and have gotten used to it, moving by choice, or at the end of your life, having fulfilled your part, that's practically everything. Keep your spirit elevated. Understand this. Any place is like any other. Whether you are in the city or on a mountain, everything is the same vibration. It's like Plato mentioned, being in a city is the same as being in the open field. Ask yourself, how am I using my mind and energy now? Am I thinking clearly? Am I connected with others, or am I too focused on my own feelings and physical desires? If you run from responsibility, you are avoiding what is destined for you. Laws and norms guide us, and if you resist or become too emotional about them, you are avoiding life. Being overly disturbed or scared basically goes against the flow of life. Think about how life begins. A man plants a seed and walks away. Then nature takes over, creating something incredible from something so small. The same happens with how our body processes food and transforms it into energy and life. Observe these amazing processes happening silently within us. It's like witnessing an invisible force guiding and conducting everything around and within us. Always remember that the situations we face today have happened before and will likely repeat in the future. Think about the social circles of the past. Hadrian, Antonius, Alexander, and others. The stories were the same, just with different actors. If someone is upset or complaining, imagine them as a pig panicking before being cooked. It sounds funny, right? Remember, only we, humans, have the choice to accept or resist the flow of life. Everything else just continues with it. Before lamenting something, think, would it matter if I were about to die? When someone gets on your nerves, look within yourself. We all have flaws. Maybe you value pleasure too much or crave validation. Understanding this can calm your anger. Remember that most people are simply reacting to their circumstances. If you can help change those circumstances for them, you will have already made a big difference. Keep pushing until you adapt and grow. Just like a strong stomach digests everything, or how fire transforms anything into light and heat, make sure no one can honestly say you are false or bad. If they do, it must be a lie. Decide to be the best version of yourself. What is holding you back? Ask yourself, what is the most rational response to life's challenges? You have the power to act rationally, so there are no excuses. Your greatest joy should come from acting in harmony with your nature, and you can do this anywhere. Natural elements like water or a rolling cylinder can be blocked, but your mind can navigate anything. Embrace this power. Everything else affects only your body or is in your head. Unless it makes you a worse person, it is not truly harmful. And remember, nothing that harms the community is good for you. Anything that does not disturb the natural order does not disturb the community nor you. So relax and ride the wave. When you truly understand the essence of life, even the simplest advice is enough to keep you steady. Think of it this way. We are all like leaves, fleeting and temporary, coming and going with the wind. Your children, your friends, even those who cast shadows, are leaves on the great tree of life, and seriously, no one stays forever. Even the most loved ones will have someone who secretly will be relieved when they leave, thinking no more endless advice. This is for the genuinely kind-hearted. Now, as for the rest of us, there might be a line of people waiting for that exit, hoping it will give them an advantage. Whenever you see someone act, take a moment to think, why did they do that? But always start with self-reflection first. The core of who you are is not just the physical, it is the spirit, the inner fire that drives you. So, when taking inventory, don't just think about the body you are in. Your body is just a vessel. It is the inner self, that hidden force that really directs you. Keep focusing on this essence because that is what truly defines you. Always stay tuned to this driving force, whether it is passion, ambition, or simply heart. That's the true game. The rational mind has incredible characteristics. It is self-aware, can analyze itself, and mold as it wishes. Unlike plants or animals, we humans appreciate the results of our own mental work. It doesn't matter when or where life's journey ends. The mind knows its purpose and fulfills it. Think about it. A 40-year-old person with a bit of perception has basically seen everything due to life's repetitive patterns. Kindness, honesty, humility, and high value are as essential to our soul as justice is to the law. Imagine breaking down a beautiful song into individual notes. Would you tune into just one note? Think about the dance. Would a single move surprise you? This is a way to simplify things, seeing them as they really are. Do this for everything except when it comes to being a good person. Being a good person is a complete package. Having the strength and willingness to face what life presents, including death, is great. but don't be stubborn about it. Do it thoughtfully and convincingly, without drama. Every good deed you do for others is your reward. Remember, your main job in life is to be a decent human being. This implies understanding the universe and understanding yourself. Plays and tragedies used to be like a mirror of real life, reflecting real situations, reminding us that these things happen and that we must face them. The wisdom in their lines reminded us to relax, accept life, and enjoy its benefits. At first, comedy was about keeping it real, pointing out what stayed centered. But then comedy changed, becoming more about getting easy laughs. Yes, there are still gems of wisdom here and there, but what is the bigger picture? The realization is that you are already in the best place to reflect and learn. Embrace it. When you cut a branch from a tree, you are not just separating it from its neighboring branch, but from the entire tree. Similarly, when you distance yourself from someone, you are not just separating from that person, but from the entire human connection. We do this when we hate or ignore someone, without realizing that we are also disconnecting from the entire social vibration. But here's the interesting part. Just as a branch can be grafted back onto a tree, we can reconnect. But if you keep disconnecting, it becomes increasingly difficult to realign with the whole. People may try to divert you from your path, but don't let them mess with your tranquility or good vibes. Getting angry or deviating from the course is in some way abandoning who you are meant to be. Art is inspired by nature, right? So the universe, being the ultimate form of nature, is somewhat the supreme artist. The art of this universe is all about balance, where things like fairness and virtues fit in. If we are too focused on insignificant things or easily influenced, we lose the bigger picture. If something is stressing you out, maybe you are giving it too much power. Relax. Don't let it control your feelings. Your soul is at its best when it is calm, not stretched or shrunken, simply shining in its own truth. If someone has a problem with you, that's their problem. Make sure it's not you causing drama. If someone criticizes you, stay calm and be kind. If you need to correct them, do it with respect, not with ego. Live in a way that when the universe observes, it sees someone content doing their thing and tuning in with the world. People play games, don't they? They praise you one moment, belittle you the next, try to outdo you or flatter you. It's all just an ego game. Just keep your authentic vibe. When someone says, "I'm going to be honest with you," why the preamble? Actions show your true character, like unexpressed feelings in a budding romance. It's all in the eyes. If you are authentic and kind, people should notice that, just like they notice someone's distinctive perfume in a room. Pretending to be frank is uncomfortable. Insincere friendships are absolutely the worst. Authentic vibes are clear as day in your eyes. The best approach to life is completely about perspective. Maintain balance when facing trivialities. It is crucial to understand that situations do not dictate our reactions. We do. And if some unjustified beliefs infiltrate your mentality, you have the power to challenge them and let them go. Always seek your best personal version. When reflecting on experiences and reactions, consider this. We are all interconnected human beings by nature. Sometimes leadership is necessary. Dive deep into the bigger picture. If things are not random, then there is intentional harmony in the universe. Imagine others in everyday scenarios. Consider the convictions they may be bound by and their motivations. If they act appropriately, accept it. If not, maybe they are simply confused. No one likes to be labeled or misunderstood. The reality is that no one is perfect, not even you. Everyone has moments of weakness or uncertainty. Do we really always understand the whole story behind someone's actions? Judging requires knowing all angles. If you feel overwhelmed, a gentle reminder. Life is just a fleeting moment in the grand scheme. Everything is transient. What disturbs us is not always the actions of others. It is our reactions and perceptions. Changing this view makes the anger disappear. Reflect on this. Irritation or anger over people's actions is often worse than the act itself. An authentic and good vibe is unbreakable, even facing adversities. Keep a warm heart. If someone tries to irritate you and you remain kind and correct them gently, what can they really do? Point out their mistake as if guiding a misguided child. This is not the way. We can do better. You are not hurting me but yourself. Remind them gently, referencing the harmony of nature. And always approach without bitterness or condescension. Whether alone or in a group, lead with genuine care. Remember these principles as essential life lessons. It's time for you to live with purpose, avoiding the traps of trying to please everyone or getting irritated by every little thing. Both attitudes are not productive. When you start to get irritated, remember, losing your temper does not show strength. True power lies in maintaining composure and understanding that both pain and anger reveal our vulnerabilities. Succumbing to them is not resistance. Also, expecting those who acted wrongly to suddenly change is unrealistic. However, letting them act wrongly with others while expecting it not to affect you is also irrational and unjust. There are 4 main traps you should be ready to face when they arise. When you realize you are unnecessarily disturbed, remember that it is unnecessary. When you feel isolated or against others, remember the importance of community and connections. If you are about to say something that is not genuine, stop. Speaking your truth is vital. If you are punishing yourself for something, it is a sign that you are allowing the fleeting desires of your body to outweigh your logical and higher thinking. Reflect on this. The elements in your body, like air and fire, naturally want to rise but are kept grounded. Similarly, the earth and water elements in you want to sink but are sustained. All fulfill the design of the universe. So why does our mind, without physical restrictions, often rebel against its natural state of harmony? When we give in to anger, jealousy, or any negative emotion, we are going against our true nature. Furthermore, when we are not at peace with what is happening around us, we are questioning the design of the universe. Remember, our higher self is not just about being fair. It's also about respecting the bigger scheme of things and being content with it. Having a constant purpose in life is essential. It's not just about having some purpose. It should be something that benefits everyone, something that promotes community and unity. By focusing on this shared goal, you ensure that your actions remain consistent. Take a moment to remember the story of the country mouse and the city mouse. The always anxious city mouse is a reminder that sometimes the simplest is better. It's about perspective. Like in Sparta, where they reserved shaded seats for visitors during events, while locals simply sat wherever. Socrates had unique ideas about life. He saw popular opinion as unfounded fear, comparing it to monsters in children's stories. Once, he refused a king's invitation because he didn't want to owe a favor he couldn't repay. And in moments of personal adversity, like when his wife took his cloak, he simply put on a piece of fur and continued his day without worries. His friends were embarrassed, but Socrates was a testament to authenticity. The ancients often looked to the past for guidance. In ancient Ephesus, they suggested reflecting on virtuous individuals of the past for inspiration. On the other hand, the Pythagoreans looked up, starting their days looking at the sky. The consistent patterns and unobstructed brightness of the stars served as reminders of the bigger picture. In all endeavors, before guiding others, make sure you have mastered your own path. Whether in writing or life, it's essential to practice what you preach. In some situations you may feel voiceless, as if limited by restrictions. But remember, this does not define your essence. Find humor amid these thoughts and discover that being genuine and firm can attract criticism. The true discussion is not about trivialities, but about discerning wisdom from madness. Socrates once reflected on what is truly valuable in our interactions: depth or superficiality. If we seek meaningful connections and understanding, why let small disagreements overshadow our shared humanity? Embrace wisdom, distinguish truth from madness, and appreciate the depth of genuine human connections. Avoid distractions. Whatever you are pursuing can be yours now if you just allow it. Forget past regrets and stop worrying about the future. Focus on the present, living with purpose and fairness. Be content with what you have. It is where you should be. Express your truth and act righteously. Don't let negativity, social pressure, or physical discomfort distract you. When it's your time to leave this world, make sure you have truly lived according to your core values. That way, you will truly belong to this universe, won't feel lost or surprised by everyday life, nor depend on anyone else's approval. Adopting this perspective will bring you peace. Why obsess over superficial things like clothes, houses, or fame when they are just superficial? You are composed of three things: soul, body, and mind. The first two are your responsibility, but the last one, the intelligence, is the real you. So, discard the noise. Discard what others say or do, past mistakes, future anxieties, or any physical discomfort. Allow your mind to be pure and independent. If you focus only on the present, you will find harmony. In this way, the remaining time will pass with clarity, grace, and aligned with your true nature. Isn't it strange how we worry more about what others think of us than what we feel about ourselves? Imagine if someone like a wise master asked us to express every thought we have. We couldn't handle it. We worry much more about the neighbor's gossip than our own worth. Have you ever wondered why some good people, despite being super connected with a higher power, simply disappear when they die? If it were different, wouldn't the universe or the gods or whatever have resolved that? If it were natural or fair, it would be happening, but since it isn't, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Arguing about it is like fighting with the universe, and the universe, being as impressive as it is, wouldn't ruin things. Try things, even if you think you will be bad at them. Have you noticed how your left hand, which is somewhat useless for most tasks, can do some things better with practice? It's about stepping out of your comfort zone. Think about the state you want to be in when it's your time to depart. Reflect on how short life is, the vastness of time, and how fragile everything is. Simplify things to their essence. Understand why things that make us happy or sad happen. What does death mean, and what is fame really? Understand that it's all in your head. When it comes to living according to your beliefs, be like that versatile fighter who uses his whole body, not like the gladiator who drops his weapon and is defeated. Go to the core of things, break them down into what they are made of, how they appear, why they exist. Realize the power we have. We can choose to do things that align with the universe and accept what comes without blaming anyone for anything. No one is ruining things on purpose. Don't be the person who is surprised by everyday things. Life is unpredictable. So, we have three options. Everything is predestined, there is a higher power that cares for us, or everything is chaos. If everything is predestined, why fight against it? If there is a higher power, then work to be someone that power would want to help. If it's just chaos, at least you have your own sense of direction. If life throws you into a storm, let it take everything but your core beliefs. See if a lamp can shine brightly until its last moment. Why can't your truth, justice, and self-control do the same until you go? Before judging someone who seems to have erred, think, do I really know the whole story? Even if they have erred, who says they are not already reprimanding themselves? You can't get mad at someone for acting according to their nature. It's like getting mad at a fig tree for having sap. So if someone is pushing your buttons, focus on fixing your reaction. Simple rules. If it makes you feel bad, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Always ask yourself, why am I doing or saying this? What is the real reason? Always dissect your perceptions. Ask what lies behind the surface. What is the form, the substance, the purpose, and when will it end? Remember that you have something inside you stronger than all external influences. When emotions arise, ask, what is really happening in my head right now? Always act carefully, with a clear purpose and for the greater good. One day, you, everyone you know, and everything you see will be gone. It is the nature of things to change and give way to the new. Keep in mind that everything is a matter of perspective, and that is within your control. If things get tough, change your viewpoint, and you will find calm waters again, like a sailor turning a corner to find a peaceful bay. Look at each experience. Each moment has its time to end. And when that happens, it is not bad that it ends, just like a show. When it ends, it simply ends. Just because you finished watching doesn't mean it was bad. Life is a bit like that. When it is your time, it is not something bad. It's just how the universe works. Everything works in sync with the universe. So, if the universe thinks it's the time, it probably is the best. That's how everything vibrates. Whatever you do, do it with thought and fairness. If something happens to you, remember that it is by chance or there is a bigger plan at play. Don't waste time blaming luck or getting irritated with the universe. Think about the journey of everything from its beginning to its end. If you suddenly had a panoramic view of life on Earth, you would see that we are all just a flash in time. Flying high and looking down, you will see the same thing over and over again, a fleeting moment in the universe. Remember, our problems often come from overthinking. Get rid of that mindset, and you will be fine. The universe follows its own rhythm, and people will do what they do. Remember, every event is just another chapter in a vast story, and the bond between all of us is not by blood, but by shared understanding. It all comes down to perspective. We are all riding the wave of the present. So, don't worry about the past or the future. Have you thought about the famous people of the past who caused a big stir? Where are they now? They are just stories we tell or have been completely forgotten. Remember those who sought the grand life in places like Ballet or Capri, and those who pursued glory and fame. At the end of the day, all these efforts and dramas fade into history. Every time you find yourself caught up in the daily drama or the rat race, take a moment. Think about the bigger picture and ask yourself, is it worth the effort? Embrace each opportunity with wisdom and grace. As we conclude our journey through the profound passages of Meditations, it is hard not to reflect on the timeless wisdom that Marcus Aurelius has given us. I sincerely hope that this message has been helpful. I want to sincerely congratulate you for making it this far and completing the video. It means that you want to improve as a person. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos, and if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day. Have you ever felt that a relationship consumes and exhausts you? Have you wondered how to free yourself from that emotional burden that seems impossible to let go of? You are not alone. Stoicism offers us a powerful guide to detach and find inner peace. As Seneca said, it's not that we don't have much time, but that we waste much of it. This resonates with a profound truth. Life is too valuable to waste on relationships that drain us. But how can we apply Stoic philosophy to emotionally detach from someone? Imagine living with serenity, without letting emotional storms drag you down. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot change. By understanding and applying these principles, we can free ourselves from toxicity and regain our inner peace. Today, I will show you how to distance yourself from those who are not worth it, in a way that, when you leave, they will miss you. But by then, you will have healed and have a different perspective, one in which you value your mental peace and healing solitude, appreciate good people, and distance yourself from the bad ones. That's what you will learn today. I don't promise more or less than that. Today, you will learn to detach from someone and succeed in the attempt, as long as you follow all the instructions well. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now, let's start this transformative journey together. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Strategy 1. Identify why you need to detach. To start on the right foot, we must understand that emotional detachment is an introspective journey that requires courage and determination. It becomes a fundamental pillar for psychological well-being. The crucial first step is to understand the deep reasons driving you to seek emotional distance. These reasons, which must be genuine and valid, will be the compass that guides you in moments of doubt. It's essential to recognize that as human beings, we are prone to fragility and may feel tempted to revert to old patterns due to inertia or apparent acts of kindness, such as in abusive relationships, where moments of kindness from the abuser can make you question the severity of the abuse. However, it's crucial to remember that these moments do not erase the inflicted wounds. The abuser, perceiving your attempt to emotionally distance yourself, may intensify efforts to win you back. However, this behavior does not respond to genuine love, but to a desire to maintain control and manipulation. During detachment, it's vital to keep the reason for your decision present. Reflect on every conflict, drama episode, and toxic act. Think about how these negative experiences have affected you, transforming you into someone you neither recognize nor appreciate. This constant reminder will act as a shield against the temptation to fall back into harmful patterns. It's crucial to seek support from trusted people like friends, family, or mental health professionals. They will offer an objective perspective and provide the emotional support necessary in moments of weakness. If you don't follow the advice, consider what advice you would give to a friend going through a similar situation. This is known as the spectator bias, where people tend to offer better advice and make more rational decisions for others, compared to when they face similar problems in their own lives. For example, you might give a friend advice on improving communication and resolving conflicts in their relationship, but find it difficult to follow your own advice in a similar situation. So, if you don't trust someone, use the advice you would give a friend to make the best decision. Strategy 2. We have no control over external events, only over our responses. Let's accept loss as part of the nature of life, focusing on what we can control, our attitudes and actions. From a psychological perspective, facing this fear involves working on our emotional resilience, recognizing and accepting our emotions without letting them dominate us. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, can help people challenge and change irrational thoughts that fuel the fear of loss, promoting a more rational and balanced attitude towards life. Stoicism teaches that fear does not reside in the loss itself, but in our resistance to the change it brings. Stoic wisdom suggests that we must recognize that loss is part of the natural flow of existence and that fear is a choice. Instead of clinging to permanence, we should value the present and be grateful for lived experiences, even those involving loss, as each brings valuable lessons for our personal growth. With practice and reflection, it's possible to reach a place of serenity and inner strength where the fear of loss transforms into a calm acceptance of the transient nature of all relationships. Let's move on to the next strategy to learn more about how to cope with attachment or how to lose the fear of losing. Strategy 3. The disadvantages outweigh the advantages. Let's not fool ourselves. If we have reached this point, it's because you really need to detach from a person, and the disadvantages outweigh the advantages of being around them. Reflecting on the benefits and disadvantages of interpersonal relationships is a valuable exercise for fostering emotional independence and self-knowledge. The benefits of having someone in our life can include emotional support, companionship, love, motivation, and learning through shared experiences. On the other hand, disadvantages can arise when there is emotional dependency, conflicts, or when the person's presence limits our personal or professional growth. The exercise is to make a list of the advantages and disadvantages of staying close to that person. Then, analyze which advantages are relative and which are absolute. Absolute advantages are those that only that person can provide, while relative advantages are those that you or another person can give, not necessarily that person. To reduce dependence on the benefits one person can provide, it's useful to identify which of these benefits we can provide ourselves or find in other sources. For example, emotional support can also come from friends, family, or even a therapist. Motivation can be self-generated through personal goals, and companionship can be found in groups with shared interests or social activities. By recognizing that we can meet our needs in different ways, we realize that dependence on a single person is unnecessary. This understanding is key to healthy detachment, allowing us to maintain relationships without losing our autonomy. Detachment does not mean a lack of love or care, but the ability to love without losing our essence or individual freedom. This process of evaluation and adjustment of expectations towards relationships teaches us to value our own company and strengthen our emotional resilience. It helps us set healthy boundaries and cultivate more balanced and enriching relationships. Ultimately, learning to depend less on others and more on ourselves is a path to emotional well-being and personal maturity, which also makes us more attractive to others. Strategy 4. Reconnect with what makes you happy. In life's journey, we encounter people who, as the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, do not enrich us, but drain us. These toxic people, with their demands and negativity, can divert us from the path of self-care and personal growth. We find ourselves trapped in a vicious cycle of dedicating our time, energy, and financial resources to meet their needs, forgetting our own aspirations and well-being. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not be disturbed by what others think of you. What matters is what you think of yourself and what you do according to your own nature." However, there is always an opportunity for personal rebirth and reconnection with our inner selves. It is essential to take a step back and re-evaluate what truly brings us joy and satisfaction. This process of self-discovery can be a solitary journey, but it is a necessary path to regain control of our lives and happiness. Epictetus reminds us, "Do not yearn for what you do not have. Instead, make good use of what you have." Discovering what we truly value and enjoy is an invaluable gift we give ourselves. It is a continuous process that requires us to be conscious and present at every moment. By doing so, we can begin to fill our lives with activities and people that reflect our true interests and desires. Therefore, I invite you to embark on this journey of self-discovery. Dedicate time to reflect on your past experiences, recognize the lessons learned, and use that knowledge to forge a future where you are the priority. Find pleasure in the small things, celebrate your achievements, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Reconnecting with what makes you happy is not just an act of self-love, but also the foundation of a life lived with purpose and passion. How can you practice meditation? It allows you to look inward and find peace in silence and reflection. Connect with nature by walking mountain trails, where each step brings you closer to your truth. Embark on a road trip, exploring not only the world around you, but also the vast landscapes of your mind. Surround yourself with positive people who support, inspire, and make you feel good about yourself. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. This strategy perfectly complements the next one. However, if it is not a regular hobby for you, today it must begin to be one. Strategy 5. Practice self-care. Emotional detachment presents itself as a liberating process where we let go of bonds that do not nourish our being and prevent us from moving towards a more self-centered life. This practice involves an introspective journey that invites us to become aware of our attachments, analyze the internal processes that generate them, and seek healthy alternatives to meet our emotional needs. The Stoics, defenders of life in harmony with nature and reason, teach us that happiness resides in virtue and self-control, transcending external possessions or relationships. Physical exercise is an excellent way to start, as it not only improves physical health, but also provides mental clarity and reduces stress. Reading, on the other hand, offers an escape and a way to acquire new perspectives. These two practices have a significant impact on our minds and are powerful tools to manage the stress of daily life. When we exercise, our bodies release endorphins, known as happiness hormones, which are neurotransmitters that promote a sense of well-being and can relieve pain. These endorphins improve our mood and can make us feel more optimistic and less anxious. Concentration can provide a mental break, allowing the mind to recharge and prepare to face challenges with a renewed perspective. Regular exercise practice can also have long-term effects on our ability to manage stress. By exercising, we can teach our bodies to better handle physical stress, which can translate into better management of emotional stress. Exercise can help reduce muscle tension that often accompanies stress and promote a state of relaxation after physical activity. But remember, it's not just about practicing a sport, going to the gym, or walking every day. We must also relate this behavior, or rather this new lifestyle, with Stoicism. Remember that we must be resilient people, one with nature and life itself. Why do I say this? Because exercising and reading take us away from stress and negative thoughts for a few hours. But once we finish, what do we have? That is why, with Stoicism, we learn to stay and make our daily bread that happiness we feel when exercising, but without exercising. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write mind over body, so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. Strategy 6. Be patient. Patience with oneself is fundamental in the process of untangling the complex threads of our lives. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, patience is not simply the ability to wait, it is how we behave while waiting. This patient behavior is essential when facing the task of disentangling ourselves from those who have left a negative mark on our lives. It is not a process that is completed quickly. It requires a constant commitment to self-compassion and kindness. It is crucial not to punish oneself for occasional setbacks. Allowing oneself to fall is human, especially when distancing from toxic relationships that have been deeply rooted in our lives. Instead of self-criticism, it is preferable to channel our emotions towards self-protection, self-care, and self-awareness. These acts of self-love are the foundation upon which we can build a fuller and more satisfying life. Self-love drives us to seek the best for ourselves, and it is this desire that guides us towards forming stronger and more meaningful relationships. By cultivating healthy connections, we create an environment that favors our personal growth and distances us from those who harm us. These new relationships act as a balm, healing past wounds and allowing us to move towards a more promising future. In this journey, it is important to remember that each step, no matter how small, is progress. Each act of kindness towards oneself is a victory, and with each passing day, choosing self-compassion over self-criticism brings us closer to the life we deserve and desire. Patience is, therefore, not just a virtue, but a powerful tool that allows us to weave a new narrative for our lives, one in which we are the authors of our happiness and well-being. Strategy 7. Love them from afar. This strategy is for those family members or loved ones who exert a toxic influence on our lives. Often these individuals cannot be completely removed from our environment, forcing us to seek a balance between the affection we have for them and our own well-being. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "Love is blind, friendship closes its eyes." Sometimes love requires selective vision, especially when it comes to protecting our mental and emotional health. Opting for love from a distance can be the wisest solution. This involves letting go, keeping these people out of our most intimate circle, and wishing them the best on their path while allowing ourselves to feel love for them. However, it is crucial to remember that we must set clear boundaries to protect ourselves from any potential harm they may cause. Toxic relationships, no matter how much love they involve, can be detrimental to our emotional and psychological stability. It is essential to recognize that love should not be a one-way street leading to personal sacrifice. Instead, it should be a path that promotes mutual growth and happiness. By giving ourselves permission not to invest time and energy in these relationships, we can find the freedom to love without the heavy burden of forced reciprocity. This act of liberation not only benefits us, but can also provide the necessary space for the other person to reflect and possibly change. Ultimately, loving from a distance is not an act of abandonment, but a form of self-care and respect for oneself. It allows us to cultivate a love that is pure, free from the complications and pain that often accompany toxic interactions. It is a recognition that while we cannot change others, we do have the power to change the nature of our relationship with them. Strategy 8. Seek healthy support. Healthy support is a fundamental pillar in the process of recovery and personal growth. It is essential to surround ourselves with positive influences and people who offer a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on in times of adversity, such as a breakup. Human nature instinctively seeks to replace lost bonds with new attachments. These alternative attachments should be healthy and constructive, whether through activities that enrich the spirit or people who provide comfort and understanding. It is in these moments that the support of friends and family becomes invaluable, providing the necessary encouragement to move forward. As the philosopher Thales of Miletus said, "The most difficult thing is to know ourselves. The easiest is to speak ill of others." This reflection invites us to look inward and recognize the importance of self-evaluation and self-support, key elements for authentic and lasting recovery. Support should not only be sought externally, but also cultivated internally by strengthening our resilience and autonomy. The search for healthy support is therefore a two-way street, involving both accepting external help and developing inner strength. In this journey, each step we take towards rebuilding our attachments and consolidating meaningful relationships brings us closer to a fuller and more satisfied version of ourselves. Strategy 9. Barriers and no contact. Cutting off contact is an effective strategy to facilitate this process, especially when it comes to detaching from someone who does not reciprocate our feelings. This tactic involves deleting or blocking the person's phone number and avoiding social media, which can help reduce the temptation to seek contact and thereby facilitate emotional healing. Psychology suggests that cutting off contact creates the necessary distance that allows a person to focus on their own well-being instead of persevering in a one-sided bond that can perpetuate pain and frustration. This space can be crucial to begin dismantling the emotional structures that tie us to the other person, and to start building a life where our happiness does not depend on the presence or approval of someone else. Additionally, emotional detachment is not just about physically distancing or cutting off communication, but also about an internal change, where we recognize and accept that happiness and fulfillment come from within and not from external factors. In this sense, Stoic philosophers offer a valuable perspective. Marcus Aurelius, for example, teaches us that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, resonating with the idea that we must find serenity and satisfaction in our own perceptions and judgments instead of seeking it in others' actions or feelings towards us. Following this line of thought, emotional detachment becomes an act of strength and self-control, where we exercise the ability to govern our own emotions and desires. It is a path to personal freedom where we learn to value and appreciate what we have, instead of suffering for what we lack or cannot control. This is a process that requires patience and perseverance, but can ultimately lead to greater resilience and a deeper understanding of ourselves and what truly matters in life. Strategy 10. Learn detachment while in a relationship. Lastly, we have detachment even while being in a relationship. No matter how well it goes, follow this advice. Detachment in a romantic relationship does not imply a lack of love or interest, but the understanding that individuality and personal freedom are fundamental for mutual growth. As the philosopher Khalil Gibran expressed, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness." This means that even if you are in a relationship, it is essential for both to maintain their own lives, interests, and friendships. Each person's life should be full and satisfying on its own, so that the presence of the other is a complement, not a necessity. It is important that each person is the protagonist of their own story, not a mere satellite of their partner. This is achieved by establishing independent physical and mental spaces. Physical spaces refer to places or activities that you enjoy on your own, without your partner's company. On the other hand, mental spaces are those thoughts, dreams, and personal projects that define you as an individual. By fostering this independence, we avoid falling into emotional dependency, where happiness seems to depend exclusively on the other person. This dependency can lead to possessive or jealous behaviors that often suffocate the relationship, similar to how a child can suffocate a pet by holding it too tightly for fear of losing it. Instead, by allowing each person to have their space, the relationship becomes more like a river that flows freely, enriched by both individuals' experiences. The true essence of love lies in the desire to see the other fly freely, knowing they can return to you not out of obligation, but because with you they find a safe and loving refuge. This mutual understanding creates what could be called the cloud effect, where the relationship expands and elevates, allowing both to become the best version of themselves. It's not about possessing the other, but about wanting them freely, celebrating their existence alongside you and not through you. In summary, healthy detachment in a relationship is not a sign of indifference, but an act of deep love. It is recognizing that each person is a complete universe capable of shining with their own light, and that together they form an even more beautiful constellation. Thus, each day, each one chooses to be together, not out of necessity, but for the joy of sharing life with someone who respects and values their freedom as much as their own. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.